Get away! What do you want?
Yeah, no. So this is basically about 80% of the movie. I'm not lying, about 80%. What I'll explain. In A Violent Nature follows a killer unknowingly resurrected from his grave after a group of teenagers remove a locket from a collapsed fire tower. Told from the killer's perspective, he hunts and stalks his victims, killing them in a violent fashion. So, in A Violent Nature, there's there's a lot of things I did not love about this movie. The main thing being the perspective and setting combination. So, what I mean by that is, they told the story from the killer's perspective, which that's interesting by itself, right? And the story is set in the woods. That's also interesting, by itself, right? But the combination of the two, having a serial killer that's told from his perspective in the woods where there's not much activity and not much going on, that's kind of where I thought the biggest kind of downfall in this movie was. It just, to me, it just didn't work. The combination just didn't work. Look, you're gonna get a whole lot of that, right? And I mean, there's not really a way around it with this type of movie, just because it's telling it from the killer's perspective in the woods, right? So I mean, he doesn't even jog. He doesn't even he's walking the entire movie, and it's just that's how he gets to places, obviously. But I mean, just so you know, I mean, it took him a whole another minute and 15 seconds before he got to this person to kill him.
Die.
So this just kind of leads into my other point here, which is like the gore, right? And I love gore, like Evil Dead, all that stuff, right? But it's just how you get to the gore in this movie is the issue for me. One of the things, it takes so long for the killer to actually reach the person, right? It just slows the whole pace of the movie down so much to where once you finally get to the actual, the person, the victim who he's going to kill, it's just so long and drawn out. You're just kind of waiting for it to be over. And then you're hoping the next scene is going to be better. It wasn't.
Please help!
Now, look, some of the shots in this movie are very creative, right? And the gore is also pretty intense. It's pretty over the top, to be honest. But I mean, all of that is dampened just because you're watching this killer walk, for a whole 2 minutes before he kills somebody, right? So any sort of suspense or anticipation you had is just kind of, the water has been already put on the fire. So by the time you get the actual, the real event here, you don't even really want to see it.
I was wondering when you were finally gonna show. You sure took your time, though.
So this one might be the fastest kill in the whole movie. I think this whole thing might take about 30 seconds. So look, I mean, I think this movie, if it was maybe in a different setting, or even if it just had more activity, more things happening, aside from just us following along with the man in the woods, then maybe it would have worked for me. I mean, it almost reminded me of a video game, like a first-person perspective video game where you got the controller and, you haven't figured out how to run yet, so you're just having them just walk through the woods. The movie just didn't work for me, right? Now, this type of movie, I think it's been done in a way, like as far as with the elements, like it can work. I mean, you could think of No Country for Old Men, right? It's has a very small cast. It has no soundtrack, right? The only music or only noises you hear are in the scene. and it's mostly told from one character's perspective for the whole movie. Right now, it's not a slasher film, but you could have those elements and you could make it work because there was other things happening in the movie. People were interacting with other people, right? The guy in No Country for Old Men was doing some mundane things in certain parts, but it eventually led to something more meaningful, right? I just thought with In a Violent Nature, that didn't work. It just almost felt like a video game. It was it was kind of a pain to watch, if I'm just being completely honest, because just having to sit and having him watch this guy walk through the woods, we got to sit through this for 2, 3, 4 minutes, just a long time just to get to the kill, just wasn't my cup of tea. Obviously there's a lot of reviews that speak highly of this movie. Just for me, it just wasn't my cup of tea. I just didn't buy it. That wasn't me. Look, if you haven't seen it, give it a shot. Maybe watch it. You could always let me know in the comments what you think. Me personally, I wasn't digging it.